Hey, I'm Marta, and on this channel I share with you simple recipes from all around the world. And today I will show you how to make sauerkraut at home. If you watched my previous videos, you know that recently my Polish grandma came with a visit and we were able to record for you 3 great recipes. Last week my grandma showed you how she pickles cucumbers, and today it's time for the sauerkrauts. And I bet you'll be surprised how easy and cheap it is to make. I sure was. In today's video I won't be going into details about the process of fermentation and about the multiple health benefits of fermented foods, because I already did it in the last week's video, the one about the cucumbers. So if you want to have full image of things, make sure you watch it. I will link it for you in the description box below this video. And make sure you watch this video until the end to see my favorite yet very easy sauerkraut salad in 2 versions, a milder one, great for kids, and a bit spicier one for adults. Okay, without further ado, here's how to make a delicious, rich in probiotics and vitamins, sauerkrauts. We only need 2 main ingredients: a cabbage, here we are traditionally using a white one, and salt. But because we were able to get these beautiful dill stems, today we are also going to add the fragrant dill seeds. Okay, the first step, which takes the longest, is to thinly slice the cabbage. To do it, you could use a food processor, but my grandma can do it very quickly and precisely, simply by hand. I have to admit that for me it was a bit difficult to cut such thin slices using a knife. But I quickly realized that using a potato peeler is a great alternative. Now we transfer all the cabbage into a big bowl and we add the salt. I was really impressed to see that my grandma does it without measuring anything. She simply does it to her taste. But if you are more like me and you are far from having such a great lifelong experience in pickling, then the easy way to know how much salt you need to add is to use a scale. Start by checking the total weight of the cabbage, and then the salt you need is 2 to 3% of this weight. For instance, here we had 1000 grams, so 1 kilogram of cabbage. So by multiplying it by 0.025, which is 2.5%, I know we need to add 25 grams of salt. The next step is to massage the cabbage and make sure that it is all covered in salt. And at this point we are also going to add the dill seeds. They are not only beautifully fragrant, but they also make the digestion of the sauerkraut easier. Alternatively, you could replace this with fennel seeds or cumin.
Już kapusta puściła soczek, sól zadziałała i wymieszana jest dobrze z solą, z ziarenkami, i taką przykładamy do słoiczka i ubijamy mocno.
After around 5 minutes of massaging, you should notice that the cabbage starts to release water. And this juice, mixed with salt, will play the role of our brine. If you remember, last week I explained you that to safely pickle vegetables we simply need to submerge them in brine, which is the salted water. Salt favors the growth of the beneficial lactic acid bacteria while inhibiting the undesirable spoilage bacteria, which are not salt tolerant. And therefore salt protects our food for several days until there is enough of lactic acid produced to protect the vegetables for many months. To ferment the cabbage, you can use any glass or ceramic jar. It is important to pack the sauerkraut tightly by strongly pushing it down. This way we make sure that there is enough brine on the top to cover the cabbage. As I explained you in the last week's video, this fermentation process mainly depends on lactic acid bacteria, which are naturally found in the raw cabbage. And these bacteria produce lactic acid when the conditions are appropriate. To keep it submerged under the brine, we need a weight. Traditionally, people were using a stone which they previously boiled to sterilize. But here we are using another little jar filled with water, which also worked perfectly. With time, salt will draw some extra liquid from the cabbage and the weight might descend lower, causing the liquid level to rise. So make sure you put your jar on a tray in case of a spill. And keep it open or covered only with a thin towel for the gas, the CO2, to easily escape. During the first days, the fermenting cabbage should be placed at room temperature. And every day the cabbage will get a bit more sour, so simply keep trying it to see when you like it the most. This time it was very warm in my kitchen, and after less than 2 weeks I was already very happy with the level of fermentation and the acidity of my sauerkraut. So from that moment on, I keep it in the fridge, which drastically slows down the fermentation process. And this way I can keep it for many months. Before you go, let me show you how I make my favorite salad with sauerkraut. I start by chopping the cabbage into smaller pieces. It is already salty, sour, and the dill seeds make it beautifully fragrant, so we don't need much more seasoning. I simply add some thinly grated carrot, and to balance the sourness, I add a sweet apple. And I stir it all together. My trick to make everyone happy at home is to take a little portion of this mix to make a milder version for my little children. To this one, I only add a few drops of cold-pressed rapeseed oil, which will help the absorption of vitamins. My husband and I, on the other hand, we prefer a spicier version, with some thinly sliced leek, freshly ground pepper, and a dollop of mayonnaise. Whichever version you choose, it is great as a side dish, or you can add it on the top of your sandwich. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that now you feel confident enough to make your own sauerkraut at home. And if you'd like to stay up to date with all my newest step-by-step recipes, do subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that you are notified when my newest videos are out. Thank you for watching until the end, and I hope to see you next Monday. Bye!